getting hard to stand out in the Democratic Party these days. Everybody wants health care for illegal aliens, for example. Most are now open to race-based reparations. But Senator Kamala Harris of California is going even further than this. She's offering a plan to spend $100 billion on housing down payments, but not for everyone, only for people of a certain skin color. Watch this.
A typical black family has just $10 of wealth for every $100 held by a white family. So we must right that wrong. And after generations of discrimination, give black families a real shot at home ownership.
Harris's bill would also loosen credit standards with the goal of creating more home loans. If you feel like you've heard that before, you have. In fact, that's exactly how we tanked the entire U.S. economy back in 2008. Maybe Senator Harris missed that interlude in American history. Melissa Francis did not. She's co-host of Outnumbered and hosts After the Bell on Fox Business. She knows a lot about the economy, and we're happy to have her rejoin us again tonight. Melissa, that does sound very much like how the subprime meltdown happened 11 years ago, does it not?
Oh, it's exactly like that. And it's when we decide that home ownership is a value and is something that everyone should have and is an automatic good and the government should favor it and spend money on it, is how we got into that crisis in the first place. But let me back up to what she said there. So she was talking, she used some numbers, which always interests and excites me because I think people are doing math. Later ends up not being true, but that's beside the point. She went on to say that this program would close the wealth gap between black and white families by 31%. And I thought, how interesting. Where did she get that number? So I read through her website, and then I went to the Demo study that she cited. And they basically did a study where they said, well, if all values of homes go up, first of all, and go up by the same amount over time, then this would close that wealth gap. So she's assuming home values always go up, and no matter where you buy them, they go up by a lot. Well, if there's one thing we all learned in the last housing crisis and financial crisis, it's that that's not true. I think there are a lot of people out there, like myself, who have lost money owning a home. It's not always a bargain. It's not always a good thing. And in fact, it's very sticky. So she's advocating for the government sponsoring down payments for people, saying it'll close the wealth gap. And first of all, that's just not true. And the math they're using is ridiculous. But then beyond that, you're right. This is what caused the housing crisis. If you look back at the home values over time, it was actually during the Bush administration when we decided that home ownership was a value everyone should have, and HUD invested heavily in that we created the bubble that burst and crippled a whole bunch of people. So you're right. This could actually be really bad for families who took her up on her offer and
well, exactly.
dug in a neighborhood and bought a house where then values dropped.
This is the problem with not punishing anyone for the disaster of the meltdown in 08 is we didn't learn the lesson. But under her program, if I'm getting this right, one family could go to the government and say, can I have help buying a house? And be told, no, you're the wrong color. And another family would be told, you're the right color. Yes, you can have money to buy a house. Why is that not racist?
No, it certainly appears that way. And when you look at her website, she talks about people who have lived in a red line district for the past 10 years. And then she says that those are black families. I don't know if you can for sure make that distinction. I don't know what areas she's talking about. Right. But if you're talking about buying in a neighborhood where values haven't gone up, that's a risk in and of itself. And if you talk to millennials nowadays, they don't want to own things because they've seen the hazard in that, the risk in that. When you buy a home, you're stuck there. You can't walk away. And she talks about, this is really interesting. She says it's the credit rating that's holding everyone back. So she wants to make a Fair Credit Reporting Act that includes rent payments, cell phone payments, and utility payments go towards your credit score. That's a really interesting idea that could cut both ways. Can you imagine for young people, your cell phone payments, utility payments, or rent payments, if you don't make those, that also destroys your credit score. That's what she's advocating for. So I don't know if this is very well thought out, Tucker.
It doesn't sound like it is, but the details are interesting. Thank you for digging into that for us. Melissa Francis, great to see you.